Hey guys, so this is definitely going to be a different and odd kind of setup and video. If you see a lot of junk around me, that's because I am just surrounded by a mess, but I need this mess. I have a lot of stuff for the junk journal that we're going to be working on today. I love making junk journals, they're a lot of fun. Shout out to Morbid Melanie, who I also collabed with in the past, which was one of my favorite videos that I did. It was a 4-person collab. I'll throw that up in the cards for you, so what just popped up is that collab. One of my favorite collabs, it's called Ghost Stories. She gave me this idea. She told me she makes a journal, I believe it was, for each year. And I thought that was a great idea. I thought it'd be really fun to make a junk journal for 2020 and highlight the great things that happened each month. So shout out to Morbid Melanie for this idea. I'm going to throw her down in the description. Before I actually get started, I do want to say that only part of this will be going on this channel. I do have a second channel that I have not uploaded to yet. The goal is to do the other parts of this video on that channel, and I figure each month I'll decorate a new page. So I have January and February to do. We're also going to make the book, which is a lot of work. If you want to see the other stuff, you're going to have to go onto Vintage and Crafty. That will be linked down below for you guys too. I have an old book that I'm repurposing. So this book is really, really old. I had this since I was in high school, maybe even before. I'm not sure. It might have been the year before I started high school. It was a John Grisham book. It got kind of messed up. So I decided I would repurpose this book and I would use the cover for my junk journal. So I have a towel down because we're going to be using some adhesives. Now before I get started, I do want to go ahead and show you what my signatures are going to be made out of. My signatures, which are the pages of your book, are going to be made out of coffee dyed paper. Also, because this is my personal book, this isn't something I'm going to be selling, I don't feel the need to make it as perfect. It can be a little bit on the messy side and I'd be okay with that. So for the signatures, I decided I was going to do 2 groupings and I was going to do 2 pages for each month, which folded over will give me 4. So I have coffee dyed paper. I'm purely going to be using coffee dyed paper for the signatures. Sometimes with books I will use other types of material for the signatures with coffee dyed paper. For this, I'm just going to be using coffee dyed paper. I have my pictures printed out for January and February. Yeah, this is a big ass pretzel that I made. We will get to that when we get to that. We'll talk about that later. So I went to Michael's recently with my sister and my niece, and I picked up some papers that I could use for decorating. Some of these are going to be glued on top of the coffee dyed paper and just be a really pretty decorative page, and other ones are going to be pockets. They had like no fabric almost, so I got these. These are the same amount of fabric as a roll would be. I knew I wanted it to be kind of a darker fabric. I like darker colors personally. I really like gray. So this is kind of like a heather gray and it has arrows on it, and I thought that that was really cute. So usually one of these will do, but I bought 2 just in case I mess up, and if I don't mess up, for pockets. Fabric pockets give you a little bit more give than paper pockets, so I do really enjoy having a fabric pocket. I bought these. I need one for the cover. I want to write 2020 on it. I was out of fabric glue, so I bought fabric glue, and this is the Beacon Fabri-Tac permanent adhesive. It's pretty good if you need some fabric glue. So I'm going to start off with the cover and then we'll go ahead with the signatures. I also bought my niece some stickers and some paintbrushes. I spent the day with my niece and my sister. We finger painted, we painted birdhouses, we watched 101 Dalmatians. Her dog, my sister's dog, actually watched 101 Dalmatians. She has a puppy. So let me just make sure that my arrows are going the right way, because I don't think that there is like really, it doesn't matter, I guess. Does it? I guess that way. Is that right? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter if I can't tell, right? It's my book. I need to get my scissors. I'm gonna use my hair scissors. If you really wanted to like get the creases out, you could steam this, iron this. I do have a steamer, a hand steamer for clothes. I'm not that picky, so that doesn't really matter to me. If I were making this to sell, I probably would do that, but it's gonna be mine, so I don't care. I do like to make sure I have a very tight grip on the fabric when I put it in there, so there's not like a weird like air pocket going on. You could glue the front too. I'm not going to do that. This is, again, it's mine. I don't mind it not being perfect. The hardest part for me about junk journals is my joints went bad from Rituxan. If you guys did Rituxan, have you had that issue? Because it sucks anymore. I miss my body pre-Rituxan. I might do a closure. I'm not sure yet. I have twine, and I feel like twine would look good with these guys because there's some twine up here. I might do a closure. I do like closures because these books can get quite big, so it's always nice when you have that closure. Whenever I am selling one, making one to sell, I will include a closure. I'm going to wind up trimming that down to make that neater, but for now we're just going to leave it like that. I have to go wash my hands of this glue right now, and then we'll be back. We're going to let this dry. And then we'll tidy it up a little bit. We're going to make the signatures as well. So with the signatures, I'm decided to do 2 pages for each month. I'm going to do 2 signatures, and each signature will have 6 months in there. So we're going to do January, February, March, April, May, June. The coffee dye paper, the pages are very voluminous, and they look a little older. They don't get perfectly matched usually. I mean, you could really go for it, try to make them look perfectly even. As long as they're somewhat even, I'm okay with it. So this is probably good enough for me. All you perfectionists out there, don't come for me. There are certain things I'm a perfectionist about, but with junk journaling, I find you don't really need it to be perfect, and that's one of the things I like about it. I do have a bone folder. Well, I can't find it. That's fine. I don't care that much. The hard part for me is sewing, because I bought a very thick twine, which is great for the book. It really keeps it together, but it's difficult to work with, especially because my hands are bad now. These are my signatures. They're going to go right here for now. We are going to work on the spine of the book. We need to really reinforce it. So I'm going to take a scrap paper. It doesn't matter what. You're not going to see it when I'm done with it. We're going... Can you stop looking? Okay. So where'd I put my scissors? Because that would be helpful to have those. I need those. I do this all the time. Every time I'm doing something, I lose things. It's the way I work. So, I just kind of want to mark off where I'm cutting. Here. And down here. So it's always fine to just cut a bit of extra. That's kind of what I like to do because you can always trim it off. So I will cut a little bit above the line instead of cutting at the line. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to take some leftover fabric. This is going to be the spine. It reinforces it and it covers up that green paper. This is cardstock. It's thicker cardstock. I know some cardstock is not very thick. This one is. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a brush because let me tell you how bad my hands are hurting right now. These are not very good brushes. That is the point of this because this glue is going to ruin these brushes and I don't want to ruin one of my good brushes. So, they're also for my niece and nephew if they're over and they want to paint or we're going to do any arts and crafts with them. You pull out those brushes. We're going to take the fabric and lay it down on top of this. And I'm going to actually go ahead and cover the back of it with more fabric just to give it a little bit more strength. Now we have to let this dry before we move on to actually doing the sewing. Wish me luck with the sewing, guys. It's going to hurt. It always hurts my hands so bad. So I'm going to go wash my hands again of this glue. And then when I come back, this is pretty quick drying. It should be dry enough where I can use my template to do all the sewing. So I will be back in a little bit. So I'm back. I just threaded my needle with the twine. Now I'm going to take a template that I already made. I don't have null, so I'm just going to use a regular needle to poke holes. Now only because I have two signatures. So I'm going Lacey. So now that I have my signatures made, it doesn't really matter which goes in the front, which goes in the back. They all are blank pages. I'm going to make sure these are flat down because if not, you'll regret it. Alright guys, if you want to see the actual sewing of these pages and you want to see the decorating of these pages, which is the fun part, and you want to hear the story behind this giant pretzel that I made for New Year's, you guys can head over to Vintage and Crafty. That's where I'm going to do the rest of this video, and I will be decorating, and I will do monthly updates and decorate monthly in the pages of the book. So that's what we're going to do there. I'll see you there if you choose to be there. I hope you do, and I will see you guys later.